This is Slam Hockey with your hosts, Peter Wojcicki and Paul Swinbeck. Welcome to Slam Hockey. I'm your host, Peter Wojcicki. You can find me on Twitter at Russian98, and I'm with
Paul Zwambag. You can find me at Zwambag, Zwambag. Hello, everybody. Peter, how's it going?
I'm feeling really under the weather.
Yeah, fighting through it?
Oh, yeah. It's my throat. It started with my throat. Hopefully it's leaving, but you'll probably hear it throughout the episode. I might be coughing. Sorry, folks, about that. People seem to think it's because I went to the community pool. Of course, I went there because I want to get adjusted and be able to swim for at least half an hour when I go on vacation next week. But apparently it backfired.
Wait, you're going on vacation next week?
Yeah.
Does that mean I have to do this on my own?
Sorry to tell you, Paul, but sure looks like it.
All right. Yep. This should be interesting. Tune in next week, everybody, where Paul's gonna talk to himself all night. No, it'll be all right. I think we'll be cool. Go on your vacation, have a good vacay before the big playoff push. Good idea.
Yeah. When I get back, so it's a few weeks from now, that will be our big trade deadline episode, and I'll be back right after that. So
oh, man.
Stay tuned for that big episode, but until then, Paul will have to tell you all about the trade rumors. All right, let's get into it, Paul. Huge news. Huge. Dion Phaneuf traded to the rival Ottawa Senators?
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Peter, being a Leafs fan?
As a Leaf fan, automatically, it shocked me. Ottawa? Out of all teams? Really? It's really tough. I'm going to tell you, I'm actually a bit of a Dion, not lover per se, but I like him. I think he eats up minutes. He's a good defenseman. The only problem is the Leafs treated him as the captain, as the number one. And in my opinion, should have been that role, especially in a market like Toronto where they eat you up so hardcore. Especially, it despises me so much how much people hate Dion so much. Yet statistically, he's like top 25 in D-man in like points while he's been with the Leafs. Just imagine maybe Dion actually having a decent defenseman other than pairing with Jake Gardiner, Stefan Robidas, Francois Beauchemin, and Luke Schenn the last 5 years. That's pretty rough when you're teamed up with those guys on the number one pairing against the number one opposition line on the other team, playing against Kane, Crosby, and all those guys, Ovechkin. How can you stop them when that's who your partner is and you're playing against these guys? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he fits into the Senators lineup because he's not going to be needed to be that number one stalwart defenseman. Like, he can move in probably second pairing.
Yeah, that's been the rumor that he's probably going to go with Ceci, that they've been looking for a guy to go with him, even though I still think Karlsson and Phaneuf would still be a pretty solid match and might give Karlsson more room to play offensively. But Ceci might be a guy that could get a little more room for himself to go up a little bit more, and Dion sit back and play his solid game back there and not play as many minutes. Again, I know myself too that Dion isn't the fastest guy out there on the blue line. But again, if you're not playing 24 minutes a game or more, you're not going to be as tired, especially as the game drags on.
Yeah, and he no longer needs to be the big-time leader. He doesn't have the C on his shoulder anymore. He's probably not going to get an A when he gets to Ottawa.
Yeah,
they might give it to him eventually because he's still got like 5 more years on his contract, but he doesn't need to be that captain that answers all the questions every single night. He's getting out of the limelight of Toronto.
I think they already asked Clark MacArthur, his ex-teammate from the Leafs that's now on the Senators. They asked him how it goes. He's going to like it here. It's not as crazy and limelight so much on you every single day. So
yeah.
That's pretty much going to be a good thing for Dion, just getting away from all the cameras and the limelight out in Toronto.
Yeah, and it was like a 9-player deal.
Yeah,
huge.
So the trade basically was to Toronto, defenseman Jared McCowan, forward Milan Mahalik, forward Colin Greening, prospect forward Tobias Lindbergh, and a 2017 second round pick. And of course, going to Ottawa is Dion Phaneuf, forward Matt Fratton, forward Casey Bailey, forward Ryan Rupert, and defenseman Cody Donaghy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of prospects in there that are AHL guys that.
Yeah, so basically Ottawa got a lot of AHL guys and guys that don't have a huge upside, in my opinion. But the Leafs got Greening, who has really fallen off and has a bit of a cap hit, almost like $3 million, and he's an AHL player now. Milan Mahalik, who's getting up there in age now, and McCowan, who could be a top four. You never know. We'll see what happens with him, and then maybe a good prospect in Lindbergh and a second round pick.
Yeah, and it opens up a lot of cap space in the future years. Like that
Yeah,
that 7 million cap that Phaneuf had is
yeah.
because
Mahalik,
all those
Mahalik and,
oh,
sorry,
all those
go ahead.
all those guys are all up at the end of the year, so
Yeah.
they're not.
Well, Mahalik and Greening have one more year after this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the ones that went to Ottawa or are this year or next year.
Yeah, so
We'll see what happens, but at least the Leafs got something out of it. I think the Leafs could have done a little bit better in my opinion, but again, I guess they didn't want to take any cap space, and that's probably what would have happened if they had traded him to an LA King type team.
yeah.
So I think it was actually a pretty good deal on the Senators' view of it, and for the future of the Leafs, again, opening up the cap space and everything, it's a good move for the future. But huge pieces coming Leafs way, maybe not so much, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Other big news happened, I think, yesterday was Dustin Byfuglien, or maybe is it Bustin Byfuglien, Paul?
It's Bustin Byfuglien. It is now known by Bustin Byfuglien.
Bustin Byfuglien. Okay.
Blame hockey, yes.
Byfuglien gets a 5-year, $38 million extension starting next season at a 7.6 average. Paul, that's third highest among all defensemen in the NHL.
And you know what? I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is the back end. Like he's great on the back end. Mm-hmm. He's really good, and I just glad they didn't do him long term, like 8 years, because he's already 30. Yeah. Like,
yes,
he's gonna be 35 when he's a UFA. So there's no reason to worry that he is gonna really fall off. Like he will slow down.
That's what I'm thinking too. I really like the duration out of it. I think the cap hit might be a little bit high, but what are you going to do? And again, it's only 5 years. In my opinion, he's already slowing down. He's not a top 5 offensive defenseman anymore in the NHL. He's at least 2 years removed from that. But he's still in the top, 15 per se, and he's still good. But he might slow down a little bit. So we'll see how fast he slows down.
Yeah,
he is one of the heaviest guys in the whole league. So that might come sooner than, say, a Zdeno Chara, who works his butt off every off season, cycling and everything. So, in my opinion, I don't know. I think a lot of the future of the Jets is coming now. So, you know what? Why not have trade Dustin and Ladd and recouping maybe a few first rounders for both? 2 years down the road, if they're first rounders this year, maybe they could be huge. So, what do you think? Do you think, they should sign both him and now Ladd?
Well, when we talked about it a long time ago when they were both up on the trade block, I didn't think they could keep both, and I still don't. I think Andrew Ladd's going.
Yeah, I think he's going as well. So, what do you think he could fetch? I think he's going to fetch at least a late first rounder and maybe a prospect.
You would think so, yeah. He's great leadership in the dressing room. He's a UFA at the end of the year, so you're gonna have to pay something because he's not gonna. He'll just be a rental. So
he's got good leadership, and he can fit anywhere in the lineup. He can be on the first line all the way down to the third and play defensive, or chip in a few goals here and there in the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what they do with Jacob Trouba. That's the one I'm really interested in.
Yeah, he wanted a huge raise, almost as much as these guys. So I don't know if he's going to get that. But like I said before, I think he will end up getting a bridge deal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, Well, plus to the Jets, and good luck with Dustin Byfuglien. You know, I like Buff. He's a good, fun, exciting, and hardworking player. He hits like a beast. He's great to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Drew Stafford suspension. 1 game for a high stick to Holden. Did you see this?
I did see that, and I watched the game live, and it was atrocious. It was unbelievable how hard he hit him with that stick.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
So, you know what? In my opinion, I think it was totally by accident, but no matter what, he needs to control his stick.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got the 4-minute double minor in the game. But, you know, he could have got more in the game as well. And I'm not really surprised about the 1-game suspension. Again, just how wild is it? Is Holden, really injured, or what's going on with him now?
I do not know if he's injured
Yeah,
or not.
because it was pretty wild, and I don't know. I don't think it looked too bad for him, but we'll have to see about that. Because I think if he was really hurt, I think he could have gone more games.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, tonight we're recording Tuesday night, of course, and it was Martin Brodeur night. One of my favorite goalies growing up. I actually had the mask playing ball hockey on the streets. He was like one of my favorite goalies growing up. I loved playing the net, especially when I played ball hockey. I did all the time, and I always wore the Brodeur mask. Everybody always saw me with the mask on, so I liked him, and he was great. Huge, great night for him, but it was hilarious when Bettman arrived on the stage, and there was a chorus of boos. And, of course, that's the usual expectation. When Bettman comes out, everybody hates him. They're all going to boo him. But even better, when the GM now of the Maple Leafs, who was, of course, the GM long time of the New Jersey Devils, and while Brodeur was there, he came on, and he said, "Commissioner, that's not the same reaction that I got, that you got," because they're all looing when Luke comes out.
Yeah, that's
so that
good.
was pretty funny. I like that, and congrats to Brodeur. They even made him a huge, beautiful statue, so that's pretty cool. Congrats to Martin for that.
Yeah, and talking about the street hockey, you were either Brodeur or you were Patrick Waugh. Those were the two equipment that you saw out there. Any goalie that you saw playing road hockey was Brodeur or Patrick Waugh. Like those two are just 1 and 2. It
was hard for me, Paul, because I'm born on what I call the best hockey day ever, October 5th, the same day Mario Lemieux and Patrick Waugh were born. So they were automatically two of my favorite players. But then one of my best friends, his favorite goalie was Patrick Waugh, and then the whole incident with Montreal and letting on the goals, and him going to Colorado, and he had a bit of an attitude. And so I didn't like him as much as Brodeur because he stayed more in the game and stuff, and it wasn't as wild. I don't like guys that go too, off the chain kind of per se, as like Kadri did tonight. I like the more tame Brodeur, and again, he was great. They were both great.
Yeah.
All right, we were talking about it last week. Which team that's out of the playoffs that looks like they have the best chance going in? Well, this episode we're going to talk about which team that's in a playoff spot that has the best chance to fall out. Paul, who are you thinking?
I'm going the Islanders. I kind of brought it up last week, but
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to keep their spot. They keep flip-flopping with Pittsburgh the past couple days, and you said last week that we were doing this segment, and I was like, man, if the Islanders aren't in it, well, I got nobody to pick in the East because the Islanders, they've been there for so long. Like, it's been Washington, the Rangers, the Islanders, 1, 2, 3 in the Metro for so long. And finally, Pittsburgh's figuring out how to play hockey. New Jersey's just riding on Corey Schneider's coattails.
Yeah. You think New Jersey's going to find a way in?
I think, last week I said Philadelphia's got to get up there, so they better start putting it together. They didn't have a very good week, so...
Yeah, so I had New Jersey last week to talk about them, and they're already out. We're going to be team isoing them in a bit and talking about why. But my other pick would be Colorado. I just really think they're a fragile team compared to all those strong teams in the West. So I think they might just fall out with all the stuff going on the side, with Varlamov and everything in the team. I don't know if they have enough strong leadership to keep them focused and good drive for the playoff stretch.
Yeah, and Patrick was a nut job behind the bench. He
There you go.
He goes off on a ref every single game.
He was pretty much like that when he played too. So
yeah, nothing's changed.
All right. Well, let's recap a little bit of the Super Bowl. Who won, Paul?
The Denver Broncos, led by not Peyton Manning, because he barely did anything. Von Miller, what a game!
Huge sacks.
Yeah,
he's great. He was great. So then they talk about Peyton Manning, and everybody's automatically saying, "Oh, he should retire. He should retire. He should retire." Jaromir Jagr doesn't think he should. He's on top. Why should he retire when he's on top? Jaromir Jagr says. What do you think about that, Paul?
You missed the best line of the whole quote.
What else did he say?
Do you die at 35 because that's the best you feel at 35?
Yes,
I was just like, that is awesome. He just related retiring with death. The guy's never going to stop playing. He's going to play till he's like 65.
But Jagr can do it. Jagr is he's leading the Panthers in points.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Peyton Manning is not really leading the Broncos to the Super Bowl win.
No.
So, he's, and again, he's not as good as how he used to be. So technically, he's not really on top. He's on top in terms of winning the bowl and everything, but, it's, slightly different here, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's done. I don't think he's coming back.
He's done?
Yeah.
I think he could play one more year, but why?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what I guess a lot of people think in the media. Oh, you won. You should just retire now.
Yeah.
So we think the same. But Michael Grabner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, he sent his WHL billet family to the Super Bowl. Flights, tickets, because they're huge Broncos fans. Thank you to Michael Grabner for doing such a nice thing for your billet family.
Yeah, those NHL guys, they really treat their billets remarkably like their family. It's pretty cool that they, as big as they get, they still remember who took care of them when they were in junior. It's pretty cool to see, and that's just an awesome story.
Yeah, great. All right, this episode we're team ISOing the New Jersey Devils. All right, well, you know what? They're just out of the playoffs as we speak. They were in a wild card spot for a while, and I'm actually kind of surprised they played this well. Guys like Stepniak, Kyle Palmieri, they have really stepped it up this year. And, of course, Corey Schneider is one of the top goalies in the league. I'm kind of a little bit surprised at a guy like Damon Severson. He blasted out of the blocks last year. But as usual, especially in defense too, it's the usual sophomore slump, and he hasn't put up any big numbers this year. Only one goal, Paul.
Yeah, well, looking at the whole roster, there's not a lot of guys scoring goals.
I only expect Michael Camilleri to be scoring 30 goals. Nobody even remotely close, but some guys are getting up there.
Yeah, Palmieri's at 20. Good on him.
Yeah, he's played well. Even Stempniak, he's getting a bit older, but he's still playing pretty well. I didn't like him as a Leaf, but for some reason, he meshes well with some players in other places.
Yeah, what a great signing in the offseason to bring him in. And now he's leading your league or leading your team in scoring.
Yeah, they had a few weird, not weird, but per se, but middle of card players like Stempniak, Yuri Talusti, and some have actually really worked out for the Devils.
Yeah.
So, I'll be still slightly shocked in my opinion, if they do steal a playoff spot. But you know what? They've done the best they can with this roster.
Yeah, I really thought Adam Larsson was going to take a step forward this year. I thought he was going to take a step like Victor Hedman took a step, because Hedman had a couple 2-3 years where he had the feeling out process of becoming an NHL player. He was a big dude, but didn't really know how to use his size. And Adam Larsson was in the same conversation as Hedman in World Juniors and stuff. And I really thought this year was his year that he was going to step up. But
it's hard in my opinion, because I really think Larsson's more of a defensive defenseman. He's not going to put up a lot of points.
Well, when he came out of the draft, he was just like Hedman, a little bit smaller in size, but I think it's a tough transition to come into the NHL and just start putting up points. The elite guys do it, and some guys just don't find it. And he's playing on the New Jersey Devils. They're not known for their goal scoring. So
and stuff, So Paul, what do you think this team will doing if they will be? Do you think like if they miss the playoffs or they're right in there? Do you think they're going to be unloading during the trade deadline? They're close, so what are they going to do?
Uh, who would they really unload? Like Stempniak? Like I don't know. I think they just hold course, and they're going to be in that wild card conversation just because of Corey Schneider playing so well.
Hmm.
That I don't think they're going to be sellers. They're going to think they can sneak into the playoffs, and I think that's a positive on their season if they can just make the playoffs. I don't think they're looking to go deep, so I don't think they would sell anything. I don't think they would buy anything. I think they're just going to run the course.
Stay the course.
But Ray Sharrow does like to make deadline deals, so
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know who on this roster because Stepniak's the only one maybe that would maybe go for something.
yeah,
Why trade him now when he's playing so well for you?
true.
All right. Well, prospects for them. Um, they've got a few out there, but the beast, their top prospect, is Pavel Zacha, sixth overall pick at the last draft. He's a top level talent who really works hard and is a perfect size for finesse and can still play pretty good against physical players. You know
Yeah,
what? He should probably make the team next year. What
I
do you think?
really hope he makes the team next year. Like
Yeah.
they need a little bit of offensive flair, and I'm pretty sure that's why they drafted this kid because he's got that. So I really hope he makes it NHL next year.
He could be flying out of the blocks next year. I wouldn't be shocked to see him on maybe even on the top line next year, and within a few years being a really top player.
Yeah, he should be in Calder conversations next year.
Yep, he will be. Uh, Steve Santini, second rounder in 2013. Paul, another Boston College kid. So, Paul, let me know. Did you watch the Beanpot game yesterday?
I started watching it, and the the record that I had recording
Yeah.
because they had their first period delay
Oh,
missed. I
yeah.
only got to like the second and a half because I for some reason my PVR setting is just set on end when it ends.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I didn't get to watch the whole thing. Hopefully I can. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but so I don't know the outcome because I was hoping that I watched it today on delay because I was working Monday. So I haven't even looked up the final score because I didn't want to know because I was hoping I could find it somehow somewhere.
All right.
I
Well,
don't know
it was a
where.
big, huge power outage, which delayed the game to almost half an hour, Paul. So that's why.
Yeah,
It was
sucks.
another wild game, and it went to overtime.
Oh man.
So if you can find it online, go check it out, folks. Because I don't know what it is, but these Beanpot games are pretty wild. It's always like a flurry of random goals, especially late in the game. And you never know who's going to win.
The
And then
first
somebody wins.
the first half of the game, the goaltenders were outstanding.
They were great in the game.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's exciting. I'm not going to say who won, Paul, for you. So you can go check it out. And you guys out there, you guys go check it out because they have a lot of good prospects. And another one here in Steve Santini. And he's just a really smart mobile defensive defenseman who can hit and is really steady with the puck. In my opinion, I think he could probably be a top four D man guy in the future for the Devils.
Yeah, and the rest of their prospect pool is pretty slim compared to the most of
Yeah.
the team ISOs that we've been doing. Like we've started from the bottom, so like the guys are, oh yeah, we started from the bottom. Now we're here, Peter. Oh, music.
Ah, awful, Paul. Awful. Yeah. Even one of their next big prospects is Reed Boucher, and I don't even see much out of him. I think
No,
he's already playing in their lineup now a
yeah,
little bit.
he's
I
kind
think
of
he even
playing.
scored tonight. I think I saw him on the highlights. He actually scored.
I think he
But
got
I
it.
was gonna
Yeah,
say that I don't see him moving out of like maybe maximum potential of being outside of a bottom six scorer guy.
yeah. The kid I
'Cause-
really do like is Joseph Blandisi. He's
yeah,
kind of come out of nowhere. He got called up and he's got like 10 points in the last 12 games or something like that. So he was a free agent signing. He got drafted by I think Minnesota in 2012,
yeah.
but he was a free agent signing by New Jersey Devils. So he got drafted, never got signed, and now he's with the Devils, and he's made the NHL. He looks like he fits in with the Devils. So
We'll see.
yeah,
Hopefully, it turns out pretty good for them. All right, that's it for the Devils. Now we're moving on to injuries. Leafs going on to a 4-game road trip. JVR is already out, and now they said Bozak, Lupul, and Matthias are out for these 4 games on the road trip. And then, of course, the bombshell of their captain, Dion Phaneuf, leading. This team is full of holes. Have you even seen their lineup? I think a lot of people, especially in Leaf Nation, have been posting this lineup. It is ugly.
Yeah.
A top line of Michael Grabner, Nazem Kadri, and Leo Komarov. In my opinion, at best, a third line on a playoff team.
Yeah, definitely.
That's rough. So I guess Tank Nation is in store for everybody.
So the Ottawa guys clearly didn't make it to the Calgary game tonight. So did you watch the game?
I watched the game. It was disturbing to watch. The Flames outplayed the Leafs, basically. And then the Leafs just peppered shots from random places, as they usually do. They don't have enough talent to get in front of net to score a lot of goals. But the Leafs slowly edged back because Hiller let in a weak one that Gardner deked through, which he can at times, deked through a couple of guys, but then just threw a quick wrister and it went through Hiller. And Levo had a nice goal, and that's a good thing because he's one of the guys that have some potential for Leafs, and it's good to see a prospect guy score a goal like that. So Calgary just fell asleep in the third. And again, hey, that's because the team suspended Goudreau, Monahan, and Boma for 1 game because apparently they came really late to practice.
Yeah, they arrived at the Saddle Dome at 10:15 for a 10:30 practice. Boma and Monahan did, and they barely beat Gaudreau into the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
And Hartley went off on him in practice, and were not happy, and they sat their stars down. That's a good learning curve. I don't think they're going to do that again.
Hey, you know what? I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are they sitting them? We need these guys. But they're playing against the Leafs.
Yeah, it's probably their best case scenario.
Exactly. If you're going to do it at any time, this is the best time to do it.
Yeah, would they have done it if Chicago was coming into town?
That's a tough call there. Real tough call.
I think they would have just to.
Yeah, they're still young, and they gotta learn they can't do these kind of things. They got to be professionals.
Well, Hartley, I think, skated off the ice in the practice.
Yeah. That's the type of guy he is.
Yeah.
So, and a huge injury to the St. Louis Blues. Alex Pietrangelo out for at least 3 weeks with a knee injury, and then they're going to take a look at it then.
Yeah, that hurts them big time.
So he could be out even longer.
Yeah, hopefully Colton Parayko can pick it back up.
Yeah.
Like when Shattenkirk went down, that
he fit in really well then.
Yeah, so hopefully that kid can find his game again.
Yeah, but if they lose Pietrangelo for any time in the playoffs, especially in the first round, if they play a team again like the Stars or the Hawks, that's another early exit for them. If they don't have a guy like him on the back end, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So hopefully he heals up well for the Blues. So, Paul, Alexander Ovechkin hit 30 goals again. That's 11 straight seasons to start a career, joining only Wayne Gretzky and Mike Gartner to join that club. Amazing.
I saw that stat, and I looked up Mike Gartner. That guy was unreal.
He was so... You know what he is? You just change the letters slightly, and it's Grabner.
Oh, jeez.
Just change it slightly, and it's Grabner. And you know the difference? Grabner and Gartner are the exact same player, but Gartner can finish.
Yeah, Gartner.
They're both tremendous skating, speeding talent. They both can fly like the wind. But Gartner can score.
I can't believe you put them in the same sentence. That is unbelievable.
Hey, the names are almost the same. It's like it's right there.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they are anything alike. They can both skate fast and.
Hey, Grabner had a few good seasons.
Oh, jeez, come on.
Didn't he have a couple 30-goal seasons or close to it?
Yeah, not 15 to start his career.
There you go. And again, hey, Ovechkin, how much better does he look when he's doing it in this era compared to the early 90s and 80s and such with Gretzky and Gartner that they had?
Yeah, no kidding.
Goals then were about at roughly a goal and a half more per game than now. Even more now because this season's ridiculous. I'm looking at goaltender percentages, and the average is like .920 or something. It's like, what? You can't score on any of these goalies. No wonder everybody's talking about changing the goalie equipment.
Yeah, but the goals per game is still at like 5.31, so it's not that low.
Yeah, still. I like this whole idea about wrapping instead of having these big, huge shoulder pads sticking out like a sore thumb on these goalies.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Ovechkin for joining that club. Keep going, Ovi.
Yeah. 1 second on Gartner. Looking at his stats, the only time he didn't score 30 goals in his career was when he played 48 games in 93-94.
Mm-hmm.
No, played 10 games, sorry. 94-95, he played 38 games. And 97-98, he played 60. Every other year, he recorded 30 points. That's remarkable.
Oh yeah, he was amazing. I even he was nearing the end of his career as playing for Relief. He was still fun to watch. He was flying, picking up the puck at top speed, and firing the puck by the goalie. Amazing.
He only missed 2 seasons of 30-goal seasons. That's incredible.
That's insane. Really good. Another great player that's really heating up, Paul, is your boy, Sid the Kid. What's going on with this guy? He's on fire. What is it, 12 points in the last 4 games?
Yeah, and 22 in his 11-game goal scoring or point scoring streak. So
what is wrong with Mike Johnston? Why is Sid the Kid playing almost 3 times better offensively under Mike Sullivan, Paul?
I just think he didn't like Mike Johnston's system. They didn't fit him, and it is weird to say that Crosby needs a specific system to play in, but if the guy's not happy, and I think a lot has to do with this ownership, they're trying to sell the team. I think that threw a curveball at him that they're trying to sell the team, and Mary Lemieux's been his mentor since he came to Pittsburgh, so if Lemieux starts moving his way out, maybe he's not so happy about it, and they're close to finding a owner to take over, so maybe that's helping the case.
Yeah, it's true though. People don't see these players as regular people sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of outside things happen to these players. A death in the family, a birth in the family usually even makes them play better, especially that first year when that baby is born. After, I call it the baby syndrome with Mikhail Grabovski on the Leafs. But players usually seem to play better when something like that happens. And again, things that surround you, you're not going to play well if certain things aren't going your way.
So you're saying Crosby has a baby?
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But maybe something may happen.
I think he was still playing well when he wasn't putting up points. It's just he was snake bit. He was holding the stick too tight. He just couldn't find it. And now he's shooting. He's shooting a ton now.
Yeah, but again, it's confidence. The confidence is there.
Yeah.
And he is flying. Do you see the last goal of the game? Oh my God, he was getting, I don't know,
mauled,
triple hooked.
Yeah.
And he puts it in. I was like, beauty, great stuff, Crosby.
Yeah, that was a classic Crosby goal.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, and it helps that the power play is now going. Our defense are starting to play better. They're starting to move the puck up the ice. They weren't able to do that in the Johnston system for some reason. And right now he's putting the team on his back because Malkin's out. So, which he's out for another 2 games, by the way. Just awful. And I think it helps that they're playing so well that
they're playing well right
they're
now,
all right, let's just give Malkin a couple more days.
All right, well, that's our show for this episode. Stay tuned for next episode when we team ISO the Minnesota Wild. We're going to give you the prospect of the week. Paul's going to bring you back with some fantasy ups and downs. And, of course, we got our Saturday's picks. So stay tuned for that. See you then.
Bye.